Hi, hello, and welcome to the Red Rose Academy. Today we are going to see chemical bonding. We all know about octet rule, right? In order to maintain its stability, the atom it it should contain 8 electrons in its outermost orbit. If an atom contains 8 valence shell electrons, then it is said to be an inert element. That is, it can react with any other atom. So, for example, noble gases or noble gases, that is argon, neon, krypton, xenon. So all these kind of noble gases, they can't react with some other atoms or some other neighbor atoms. So it is said to be in a fully filled orbital. Okay, so that is, it is fully filled orbital, or it maintains octet configuration, and then it is very stable. Suppose if it is half filled, then it is also stable. Okay, if an atom is having its outermost orbital, that is, if it is filled with less than half of the electrons, that is less than 4, then what happens? Suppose if an atom is having only one electron in its outermost orbit, then it is ready to give one electron or ready to lose one electron. Then it will become a cation, right? Now the atom, when atom is said to be in its ground state, that is, if an atom is having number of electrons and number of protons, number of neutrons, protons and neutrons present in the nucleus, everything we know, but there should be equal number of protons and electrons in each and every atom. Suppose if an atom tends to lose one electron, then proton is almost the same and the electron number is now reduced, right? Reduced by 1. So we call it as that atom as an ion. Now the atom becomes an ion by losing one electron. Now the atom becomes a cation by losing one electron, that is positively charged ion. If an atom is having outermost electrons more than half filled, that is greater than 4, then the atom ready to accept electron. Suppose for example, if an atom is having 7 number of electrons, then it is ready to accept an electron. Suppose if it accepts an electron, there an equal number of protons and neutrons are now collapsed. Now the electron number is increased by 1. So we call it as anion, that is negatively charged ion. Now the atoms becomes ions. When it becomes ions, then it gets into a bonding. So before we see that kind of bondings, so we must see the Lewis symbols. What are Lewis symbols? Lewis symbols are nothing but, we can write the electronic configuration of each and every atom in a periodic table. So right from the hydrogen, so each and every element has its own electronic configuration based on its atomic number, right? So for example, for oxygen, what is an oxygen? What is the atomic number for oxygen? So atomic number for oxygen is 8, right? So how it is, what is the electronic configuration of an oxygen? 1s2, 2s2, 2p. Instead of 2p6, it is 2p4, right? So now the atomic number 8 is filled like this in an oxygen, right? 1s2 in the first orbit, first 1s orbital, it is 2. 2s orbital 2, 2p orbital it is 4. How the 2p orbital should be? So it is three types of degenerate levels, px, py and pz, same energy levels are here. Now the electrons are filled like this. So out of 3 degenerate levels, there are 4 number of electrons. So first one electron is occupied in each and every 3 degenerate levels, and the other one comes to pair in a px level. Now py and pz are lone pair of electrons, right? So we concluded that the oxygen contains, so this is 1s is characterized by 2 pair of electrons, 2s also filled by 1 pair of electron, and then here px also pair, py and pz are lone pair which is unstable, and now the oxygen Lewis dot structure is like that. 1 bond pair, 2 lone pair, and then here This is outermost. What is the outermost orbit? 2s2, 2p4, right? So 2s2 is nothing but, what is 2s2? Here, 2 electrons. It is nothing but Lewis dot structure. Okay, it is named as Lewis dot structure. 2s2. Then in px it is 2. px2, py1, pz1. This is like a dot. So this is named as the Lewis dot structure. For carbon, can we write for carbon? So what is the atomic number, what is the electronic configuration or atomic number for carbon? So for carbon, the atomic number is 6. What is the electronic configuration? 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. Now the outermost orbit, it is containing 4 electrons, right? How? 2s2, in p it is only singly occupied electron, px, p1. ps it is empty now. So px and p. This is the Lewis dot structure for carbon. Okay. Likewise, we can write the Lewis dot structure for each and every atoms. That is, in order to find the electronic level, the outermost electronic level or the outermost electrons can be studied by means of this Lewis symbols. And then we come into this ionic bonding. Now the cation and anion combines together to form a ionic bonding. How it combines? Suppose for example sodium atom. We consider sodium atom. What is the sodium atom? Na. So what is the atomic number for sodium? This is everybody knew this. So what is the atomic number for sodium? It is 11. Okay. So it can be filled like this. It is the octet configuration, not an electronic configuration. It is an octet configuration. Now we can say the outermost orbital it should contain only 1 electron, right? So what is the outermost orbit now? Only 1 electron. It is less than half filled. That is less than 4. So now the sodium metal, it tries to lose 1 electron, right? If it loses 1 electron, then it should contain 1 proton rich. So we call this sodium atom is now sodium ion, that is cation, metal ion. Sodium metal ion is all the metals comes under this category only. So it ready to lose 1 electron, 1 or 2 or 3. Maximum 3 electrons can be removed from this atom, right? So each and every metal acts like a cation. So now it is a cation. We can write the configuration for chlorine. What is the configuration for chlorine? 17. That is the atomic number. So 2, 8 and 7 is the octet configuration. Now it is more than half filled, right? 7 is more than half filled. Okay. In order to achieve its octet configuration, in order to maintain stability, now this atom gains 1 electron, right? Suppose if chlorine atom gains 1 electron, then chlorine becomes Cl minus, right? Electron rich. Then it is known as anion. This is cation, this is anion. Now if we combine these two ions, then what happens? The electron loses by this sodium atom is now transferred to the chlorine atom. Now the chlorine atom accepts that electron. So this is nothing but this bonding takes place. Now sodium chloride is formed. It is a compound which is formed from Na plus and Cl minus. Okay, these two are ions. This is the neutral combination of atoms, right? Neutral molecule. This is a neutral molecule. Na plus and Cl minus is nothing but here what happens? Transfer of electrons takes place. So what is ionic bonding? Transfer of electrons. Basically, ionic bonding takes place only in crystalline solids. Okay, basically ionic bonding or basically these are ionic bonding. Now the ionic bonding is non-directional. They form crystalline solids, that is cations and anions are arranged in three-dimensional geometrical pattern. Okay, it always forms the crystalline solids. So they conduct electricity in molten and dissolved state. They are hard, less volatile, and have a high melting and boiling points. That is very important point. It should contains melting point also high melting point, boiling point also high boiling point, right? Okay, they are readily soluble in polar solvents such as water. Okay, for greatest example for polar solvent is water. So it is readily solved in polar solvents. Okay, they undergo ionic reactions also. So especially it is non-symmetric and non-polar compounds. It should not contains, I mean it should not now here Na plus Cl minus, it gives NaCl. Now here the electron transfer takes place. Okay, what are the main properties means less ionization takes place in the electropositive atom, right? So here it doesn't get any, I mean we may say that less ionization energy is in Na plus. That is, it transfers one electron to this chlorine atom. What happens? This chlorine atom, it accepts one electron. We may say that should be a high negative electron gain enthalpy in this particular electronegative atom. Okay. Now this compound NaCl is highly crystallized compound. This is the crystal, this is a solid crystal. We may say that in this solid crystal there is we may say that in this compound, sodium chloride, this compound is a solid crystal. In this, high lattice energy can be formed. So high lattice energy has been seen in this sodium chloride crystals. Okay. Now we may say lattice enthalpy. What is lattice enthalpy? It is the energy required to separate 1 mole of a solid ionic compound, okay, into its gaseous constituent atoms or gaseous ions. Okay, so for example, this lattice enthalpy purely depends upon the size of the ions and charge on the ions. Okay, how the size of the ions, how it depends upon it. Smaller the size of ions, less is the intermolecular distance, right? Suppose, what is the intermolecular distance for sodium? What is the atomic number for sodium? It is 11. Okay, it varies to potassium. For potassium it is, now the atomic number for sodium is lesser than the potassium, right? So the intermolecular attraction or intermolecular distance is very much less in sodium when compared to, I mean, potassium. So smaller the size of the ions, the interatomic or interionic attractions will be high. So the lattice enthalpy also high, or lattice enthalpy will be large. Okay. For example, the lattice enthalpy of sodium chloride is 788 kilojoules per mole. The lattice enthalpy of potassium chloride is nothing but it is 719 kilojoules per mole. Okay, since the interatomic distances or intermolecular, interionic bonding or intermolecular distance, or we may say that the atomic number is very much greater than potassium when compared to sodium, right? So the lattice enthalpy, now lattice enthalpy of sodium is increased by, 788 kilojoules per mole, it is 719 only. Okay, and then what is the next one? Next factor or next thing for enthalpy, lattice enthalpy, it purely depends upon the charge on the ion. Larger the magnitude of the charge in the ions, greater will be the lattice enthalpy, or greater will be the attractive forces between the ions. Okay, consequently, the higher the lattice enthalpy, right? So what happens? Larger the magnitude of the charge on the ion, then greater will be the attractive forces between the ions, right? And then consequently, the lattice enthalpy increases. So lattice enthalpy purely depends upon the charge on the ion and the size of the ions. Okay. Then we will see covalent bonding. What is meant by covalent bonding? Mutual sharing of pair of electrons. Suppose if an atom it is containing half-filled electrons, half-filled outermost valence electrons, then it tends to obey this kind of bonding. This covalent bonding is nothing but it is mutual sharing of pair of electrons. For example, if a carbon atom shares one electron, then hydrogen also shares one electron. Now the carbon to hydrogen, it becomes one single bond. Okay. Similarly, we are going to see how it becomes, and then there are types of bonding. So many types of bonding in this. So one is single bond, double bond, and triple bond. So what is meant by single bond? Single bond is nothing but we can see the example for hydrogen fluoride. Okay, how it combines? We'll write the Lewis dot structure. Hydrogen, it contains only one electron, right? What about fluorine? Fluorine, it contains how many electrons? 7 electrons, right? So how it should be? What is the outermost electrons for fluorine? We'll see now the single bond. For example, hydrogen fluoride. We can write the Lewis dot structure for hydrogen. It contains only one electron. Fluorine, it contains 9 electrons. 1s2. Then in the second orbit, 2s2 and 2p5, right? So nearly 7 electrons in the second orbit, right? 1s2, 2s2, 2p5. So 2s2, 2p5, in 2p5, px2, py2 and pz is 1, right? Same way it can be occupied. How it combines? Hydrogen gives or hydrogen shares one electron. Fluorine also shares one electron. Okay, now it becomes single bond. Okay, there is lot of difference between sharing and transferring or giving. Okay, suppose if an atom gives one electron, and so what is the meaning of that? The sodium atom gives one electron to the chlorine atom. Now chlorine atom accepts one electron from the sodium atom. Okay, that is something different. Here, what is that? Mutual sharing of electron. Hydrogen gives one electron and then fluorine also gives one electron. These two electrons are paired up in a bonding, covalent bonding. So this type of bonding is named as single bond. What about the oxygen double bond? We will see double bond in oxygen. Oxygen to oxygen. So what is the atomic number for oxygen? 8. Okay. So 1s2, in 2s and 2p there are 6 electrons. 2s2, 2p, 4. Okay. Same way here some more oxygen. Okay. Now oxygen and oxygen combines to form. How it combines? 2 pair of electrons are now shared. Okay. It shares 2 pair of electrons, then it gives double bond. Okay. So there are double bond. The double bond occurs. It is nothing but 2 pairs of electrons. It gives double bond. Okay. And then what else next? Triple bond. We can see this triple bond in nitrogen to nitrogen, N2 molecule. So how many number of electrons in nitrogen? There are 7 number of electrons. So 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. So 2s2 and 2p3. Here also. These 3 lone pairs are now shared and it becomes triple bond. So 1 single bond. Again, this is single bond, so triple bond. Okay. So 1 pair of electrons, px electron, py electron and pz electron. Okay. Now triple bond is now we can see covalent compounds exist. Covalent compounds exist in all three states, that is solid, liquid and gas. Okay, it has low melting and boiling points because the molecules in covalent compounds are usually held together by weaker van der Waals forces. Okay, so they are generally soluble in organic solvents, especially only in organic solvents, but insoluble in water. This is very important property. So there are no free ions in the covalent compounds. They are generally bad conductor of electricity. Okay, and then we are now going. Then we'll see formal charge. What is a formal charge? It is the charge both actually. Then we'll see formal charge. What is the formal charge? The charge possessed by an atom in a polyatomic ion or molecule, considering its Lewis structure. It is called the formal charge of that atom. We are now going to see the formula for formal charge of an atom in a Lewis structure. Okay. So what is the formula? Number of valence electrons. This represents N suffix V. It represents the number of valence electrons minus number of lone pair of electrons plus half into number of bond pair of electrons. So this minus is outside. So we may say like that also. Here it is number of valence electrons minus number of lone pair of electrons minus number of bond pair of electrons by 2. Okay, this is nothing but it is the formal charge of an atom. Now we will see the formal charge for ozone molecule, that is O3 molecule, right? Okay, we can write the Lewis dot structure for O3 molecule, and then now we consider this atom. Okay, this is the first atom. For one, the formal charge will be the valence shell electron. How many valence shell electron? 6. Okay, for the first atom there are 6 valence shell electron. Each and every oxygen atom there are 6 valence shell electron. That means 8 and the atomic number is 8. 1s2 and 2s2 2p4. So second orbit is the outermost orbit. In the second orbit 2s2 2p4 it combines 6 electrons. So 6 electrons minus how many lone pair of electrons? How many lone pair of electrons in this? 4 lone pair of electrons, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many bond pair of electrons? Here 2 electrons are bonded. Here 2 electrons are shared, right? So here also 4 bond pair of electrons. So Nb by 2. So what is the resultant? What is 6 minus 4? 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. And then what is the formal charge for the second one? Here also 6 valence shell electron. Okay. Minus lone pair of electron is 2. 2 lone pair of electrons. Bond pair is now here it's 2 plus 2 plus 2. So 6 by 2. So it will be 4 minus 3, it is 1. So for third one, there are 6 valence electrons minus lone pair of electrons are 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then bond pair is now 2. So what is the resultant? 2 by 2 is 1, 6 minus 1 is 5. And then, okay, 6 minus 1 is 5. So minus 1. What is the charge for this? The charge of this atom is, so we can write like this, plus, second one is plus 1, third one is minus. Here it is 0. So we can write like this, oxygen, okay. So double bond. Now the ozone molecule can be written as like this. Here it will be minus, okay. So this is the ozone molecule. So likewise we can write all the formal charges, okay. Then we may see all the bond parameters, okay. So first one is bond length. It is the equilibrium distance between the nuclei of 2 bonded atoms, okay, in a covalent molecule. It is the sum of the covalent radii of bonded atoms. So what is the meaning of that? Equilibrium distance between the nuclei of 2 bonded atoms. 2 bonded covalent atoms, okay. It is the sum of, that means we may say that covalent radii of 2 bonded atoms, okay. It is nothing but hydrogen to hydrogen covalent bonded atom. Here what is the bond length for this? 74 picometer. Picometer is nothing but 10 power minus 12 meter. Here it is chlorine to chlorine 199 picometer, hydrogen to chloride 127 picometer. So here we observe the multiplicity of a bonding. Okay, single bond, double bond, triple bond. So it depends upon the multiplicity of a bonding. What happens? Here it is 154 picometer, 134 picometer, 120 picometer. The multiplicity increases, then bond length decreases. So multiplicity of a bonding, covalent bonding increases, then bond length decreases. Here we consider hydrogen fluoride. So what is the bond length for this? 92 picometer. Then hydrogen chloride, it is 127. Hydrogen bromide, it is 141. Hydrogen iodide, it is 160. So here we observe if the size of the atom increases. See, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, the size of the atom increases, then bond length here increases. Okay, the size of the atom increases, then bond length also increases. These are all the very important characteristics of a bond length. For example, what is the bond order in N2? Bond order in N2 is 3. Right? We know that. N, triple bond, N. Okay, the number of covalent bonds, it represents the bond order.